Rachel Payne, and I'm the author of Let's Rumble, a rough and tumble book of play, which is illustrated by Jose Pimienta. And today we're having a Q&A about the book. It's about three siblings who are engaging in some roughhousing. And the book's mainly told through their dialogue, through speech bubbles. And you get to see through Jose's illustrations what they imagine they're doing when they play versus what really happens. And they have lots of fun names for their moves, like pretzel, ticklebot, or wrecking ball. And then in the illustrations, you can see what is actually going on. And they have to navigate what happens when you play. Those things that happens, when you play and things get a little too boisterous or somebody gets hurt. So they have to navigate all that together. Well, I've always been a big proponent of play. And I was a little bit nervous about rough and tumble play. I think often I tried to squelch it whenever I saw it with kids. But it's something that kids love to do and they naturally want to do. And it's a good to think about healthy and safe ways they can engage in it. And I think I really started to understand the importance of rough and tumble play when I would play with my son Colin, who was actually interviewing me today. And I really had to navigate all that. And I did some research to learn more about how important rough and tumble play is for kids. Well, I really love Jose's style. It has so much energy and boisterousness, and it really shows kids being kids, which I really love. I really imagined it more of a book, probably even for younger kids, a lift the flap book with flaps that you could lift up, and what was on the front of the flap was what they were doing, and then when you lift the flap, you could see what was happening inside. But we really decided that the book worked better as a picture book and skewed it for slightly older kids. So having that happen on the page really gave it a lot of dynamic energy. And telling the book from the kids' point of view made us think that speech bubbles were the best way to go, because we're really telling it through the kids' dialogue and their interaction. Well, the kids always say a code word like cantaloupe when they want to stop the play and regroup and make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more safe. So they always share that whenever they want to stop it. When I would play with my son, we'd always think of the silliest word we could think of, usually a fruit or vegetable. I think my favorite one was when we would say rutabaga, which is naturally a very silly word. Rough and tumble play is really important for kids in many ways. It really helps them learn problem solving, impulse control. They have to learn some social skills and things like that. And it really supports something called executive function, which many educators talk about how important it is for kids doing well in school. And if you think about it, when kids play this way, they have to figure out a way to get one over on their friend without hurting them in a fun and playful way. And they really have to navigate all those important social skills. And actually, it's been also shown to support self-confidence. So there's really a lot of benefits for rough and tumble play, also called roughhousing. Think that this kind of play is just going to make kids more violent or more they're going to hurt each other. And there is sometimes people do sometimes things happen and kids get upset when they do rough and tumble play. But if they don't do it, they really don't learn the limits of their own bodies. Sometimes you do have to learn what's working and what's not working, and take a little bit of risk when you play to make sure that you're not going to get hurt. And if kids don't have a chance to do that, they actually do get hurt because they don't know what their physical limitations are or what the other limitations are of other people that are playing. And they don't learn how to navigate all of that. So it's really important for kids to learn this in a safe, playful, and fun way. Well, I think I was always a little bit nervous about rough and tumble play when I played with my son. So I actually did some research about how important it is for kids, and I learned some tips and tricks for how to make it fun and playful and safer. So I wanted to share those with parents. So the Black Matter lists a lot of those things and really some tips to try to help parents navigate this and make it a lot more fun for them and their kids. Well, thanks for joining us for this Q&A, and I want to thank my son Colin, who's behind the scenes, who was an inspiration for this book. And remember, you can pre-order Let's Rumble at rachelgpayne.com, and remember to play fully.